This is the GV Podcast, a variety review podcast featuring two of the three idiots giving their thoughts on cartoons and anime. This is an opinion-based podcast, and there's no way we're saying our thoughts and opinions are objective. Keep this in mind and enjoy the show. There's so many evolutionary stones in Pokemon, but which one, what does Eevee evolve into with the kidney stone?
Kidneon?
Oh!
Kidneon?
Kidneon. Hello everybody, my name is Mayhem.
I'm Jinsu.
I'm Duke, Pission.
And Pission, because it's a success. And today we're talking about the next arc of One Piece, also known as Fishman Island.
It's basically, we're talking about Fishman Island, but we're also talking about the return to Sabaody, because we're not going to sit there with like 6 episodes and then go, let's record.
Yep.
Unless we want views, which anyway, we're reviewing Return to Sabaody.
Not in Fishman Island, TBD.
Yes.
Basically,
But, no.
Return to Sabaody is just everybody finally meets back together after the 2 years. It's the 2-year time skip! Yay! I was right!
The best part, I will say once again, you asked around Impel Down, hey, can I have any guess when the time skip is? And I just had to sit there. Soon.
Eventually.
I think I said, eventually. Next arc. 2 years.
Is that the time skip? Yes!
Yeah. No,
Wait.
sorry, there's actually a 12-year time skip right after.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
The Chopper dies.
No! Turns out he had a very short lifespan.
Turns out he also had that mushroom.
He had a different one. He had the mushroom and also a mushroom, so he died.
Yeah. But yeah, so with Return to Sabaody, everybody gets
Reindeer
back,
and dead.
everybody meets back up, but they already have a poster up that they're looking for people to go to Fishman Island. Huh, that's pretty weird. I thought,
No spoilers.
what are you talking
We
about?
gotta do the non-spoilers.
I thought we were just talking about,
No.
well, fuck you then.
What do you think of Fishman Island?
Fishman
This
Island,
arc, this introduction back to the Strawhats.
I equate this one to Thriller Bark and Skypiea.
Fair enough.
That's what I equate this one to, and it's right.
Thriller Bark is a lot more fitting. I realize now, Thriller Bark is a lot more fitting of something just crazy. Something, the craziest thing possibly happened just happened. We're coming back, set up for the future.
And setting it up, yeah. So I think I would actually put Thriller Bark. Like it's a tough battle between these two. It's really tough. I think Thriller Bark has some good fights, a good atmosphere, good extra characters, good jokes. It gives us Brook. It does all of these things. And Fishman Island, from what I've known about it, I think I might actually like it more.
Yeah.
Fishman Island does.
I like this a lot.
It does overtake Thriller Bark.
This is an arc that I actually really do like quite a bit. And also it gives me the chance to say this joke that I know that I could possibly be crucified for. Hey, why is it that one of the least liked arcs is the arc that deals with talking about race relations?
Yeah. But it
One Piece fans are racist!
Yeah.
You mean based?
Like we're being based
And the based
and
oven.
then put in the oven.
and put in the oven with a baster.
But yeah, so...
Hold on, let me upload to my bastagram.
Without giving much spoilers, Jinsu, after watching the Totally Not Mark video, what would you say are your thoughts on Fishman Island?
Titties.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mermaids.
I agree. It's great.
Mermaids.
It is great, though.
I mean,
I like how it's called Fishman, even though there's fishmen and mermaids.
where should it be then?
It's called Fishman Island.
The
Yeah.
fish people.
Tuna Island?
The merfolk.
Tempura?
I'm gonna guess that
Tempura Island.
I'm gonna guess that it's a dubism.
Probably. Like how we found out now that the Sea Kings are actually called
Neptunians.
Neptunians, yeah.
Let me
Which
see.
is interesting.
Let me see. Fishman Island. No! Fuck you, Dressrosa.
I don't know what that is.
My phone occasionally does like the whole thing where like while it's loading, it moves the screen, and so it moved another arc. And I was like, "Fuck you!"
But Fishman Island definitely has it.
Gyojinto. What does that mean?
Jinsu? What does that mean?
What?
Gyojinto.
Gyojin means fishman.
Damn it!
Damn it.
I wasn't looking for that literal of a translation.
Anyway,
This one has probably the best because it has to reintroduce everybody, not just in their new time skip version of themselves, but also to each other. That it's not like they went through a journey or whatever all together and everybody knows exactly what they are and look like and all that kind of stuff. There's a whole hilarious
We've been away
part.
from each other longer than we've been together.
Exactly. Yeah, they've been apart for 2 years while only knowing each other for a collective
Like half a year.
less than 6 months.
Yeah.
Jinzu, you weren't able to finish. Like, what are your thoughts on Fishman Island?
It's an interesting turn for the One Piece story. I was not expecting racism.
Yeah. Done
It's an
in such a
interesting
way.
Turn. I didn't expect Robin to bang Shanks. Kind of wild.
Oh, wild.
It was hot.
But the best part about that little section with it is just how Chopper just rolled with it. He never really knew what was happening.
Yeah.
And, going further into Fishman Island itself, it was a really good journey, like going from the surface to Fishman Island. I really liked that little setup and that stakes and the fact that they have to go into the ocean, even though most of them have devil fruits, like all that kind of stuff. Everybody gets to show off how strong they are. Sanji's hilarious now, and
That's still the funniest thing. I love that this arc was a thing to have boosted Sanji, in your opinion.
yeah.
That is hilarious. You know the points that are the highlights for most people when it comes to Sanji?
What?
Okay. So, obviously, Barati, like his introduction arc,
His introduction, yeah.
is a pretty big highlight for most people.
Yeah.
Skypiea.
Yeah.
His,
The scene of him getting zapped, but he's like still holding the cigarette. He's
So
like,
dumb.
"Thanks for the smoke."
Thanks for the light. Falls down. Like, people put that as like his I'm still standing moment.
I'm still standing.
And it's like, it is a cool moment in all fairness. But
It is cool, but it's also dumb. I'm
Also-
still.
also a lot of his stuff in Ennie's lobby, specifically when he caught the train.
Oh yeah, that was a good little segment. Yeah, I will admit.
Yeah, when he caught the train, as well as just his entire segment on the train, all the way to
I will say that the ramen guy definitely ruined it a bit.
yeah. I'm glad he killed him.
Yeah,
He killed him.
one of the people canonically killed.
Yes. Also, Diable Jambe, his lit up leg.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, those are like the highlight moments usually for people. For you, what's his highlight moment? Literally people's least favorite moment of his.
It's hilarious though.
It's hilarious, yeah.
It definitely added the one thing, because with Sanji, most of the time I was like, he was just missing something for me. He didn't feel complete.
He needs to bleed out.
Yeah,
I
profusely.
won't like him until he bleeds out
Until
profusely.
he's bleeding out, and it actually is part of the story, and
I
actually
won't
explains.
like him until he horn dogs over the mermaids.
because because I understand now.
No, I remember what made me.
Why
laugh
wasn't
the
it
most
me?
Is they gave an explanation for why he was reacting this way. Of he was on the island with Ivankov and his people for so long
For 2 years,
that the moment he saw women, he exploded.
he explodes. Yeah,
He literally it
It's so
becomes
funny.
a actual part of the story that he is dying because of this.
and it actually needs blood transfusions every time.
Yeah. So, I'll go ahead and mention the story now. So, let's start off with the beginning.
With Return to Sabaody.
Yeah. 2 years later, everybody gets to start returning to Sabaody, and the first one to make it back, funny enough, is Zoro, which just confirms my theory that he is a living, what's it called? The
Dial?
compass. Yeah.
Dial?
Yeah, the dial.
Is it called Dial?
Jinsu, do you remember the name of the compass
Dials.
thing? The dials.
It is called a dial?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, pose?
Pose,
Wasn't it something-
log
pose.
Log
He is the eternal log pose to.
Listen to you. You're so dumb.
I still like the idea that he is the eternal log pose to the One Piece.
Shut up, Jinzu.
He's the eternal log pose to Laugh Tale.
That'd be something.
I find that hilarious, and I hope that's true. But he's the first one to make it. Everybody else comes.
But Frankie's
Overtime.
the first back to the sunny.
Yeah, and
Because Zoro doesn't know where the fuck he's going.
so we get an update of what they're like. Zoro still as badass as ever. He got even more badass. Missing an eye,
everybody's 2 years older
cut
now.
a ship in half.
So
Awesome.
they're a lot more mature. Zoro has a scar over his eye now,
Sanji, he grew some facial hair.
and
he looks bitchin'.
parted his hair to the other side.
Part his hair to the other side. The swirly brow is still going same direction.
I don't like
Oh,
that.
somebody had an idea that I found hilarious, by the way.
What?
So first off, when it came to the curly brow, that's just like we're just imagining that it just like it's switched essentially.
Yeah.
Like instead of going like that, it now goes like that. Like that's just the general idea. Or he's got both going that way. It's weird.
Which is
But
probably that's
somebody
what it is.
mentioned the idea that he moves his hair and you see the Ivankov eye and he has death wink.
that he was able to get Deathwing from Ivankov.
And he just never wants to use it. If that was the case, I'd lose it.
That'd be great. That Sanji finally has a long range attack.
I'm still imagining that like Zoro will open his eye in the future and you just see like the same eye as like Mihawk.
Deathwing is the dumbest move, by the way.
It is so stupid, but
it
hilarious.
fits Ivankov.
It's just Ivankov's.
Deathwing!
This is my
Deathwing!
attack that does whatever I needed to.
It's like a shockwave attack,
yeah.
like a sonic boom.
But yeah, we get so Zoro missing an eye, still badass. Sanji switches hair, that whole thing, has a better looking suit. It's awesome.
Usopp,
got ripped.
he
Went to an island full of food and he got ripped.
he bulked the fuck out.
He turned all the fat into muscle.
Yep.
Kaya is gonna be so happy when he comes back.
God damn!
You ever heard that audio of like, hey little baby,
That's exactly what I just did.
Okay, good. I'm glad because that video makes me laugh every time I watch it. Especially the face that the dude gives Kaya of just her face just stretches.
Yeah. And then
Can't wait till he goes to fulfill the truth of his many children.
Chopper is now unfortunately been Pikachuified,
He's been Pikachuified except for when he turns into a reindeer.
which the reindeer looks awesome.
He's just a grown adult reindeer, yeah. Which, by the way, I think he is now 16?
Hell yeah.
He's 16 years old.
He's growing up.
Yeah.
I thought he was 15 at the start of.
Nah, he had to be like really.
In that case,
14 makes more
He
sense.
would either be 16 or 17.
Yeah, he'd be like. 17.
Either way, yeah, he's.
Do you think he has the lifespan?
If he's actually 17, then that'd be the same age that Luffy started his adventure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, I'd like that. You know what? He's 17.
Do you think
If
that
Oda says that I'm wrong, fuck you.
you're dead? You are dying now. You are dying now, and there's nothing we can do. But do you think Chopper has the lifespan of a deer or the lifespan of a person?
Human.
Okay, good.
He's got the human fruit.
Why are you doing
He's got
no?
everything to do with human.
Okay. the lives that a human would have.
No,
But,
it's every human that he kills. He gets their lifespan added.
And then we get Frankie.
Frankie, I am happy with. He's also technically bulked up,
But
artificially
because
he
he's
took
a robot.
steroids. But
Steroids is the name of his wrench.
yeah, he's got big old shoulder pads. He's got these funky big old arms.
You actually see how much bigger he got because he has scars going all the way around his former torso.
Yeah, my favorite little bit of just like, wait, with those big old hands, how are you gonna fix the ship? Watch this. Little hand.
Yeah, he has tiny hands within his fingers and a regular-sized hand in the palm of his giant hand.
Mayhem was so upset because
He doesn't have the hair!
he doesn't have the hair at first.
And then he presses a button on his nose
Presses his nose.
and gets the hair.
It flops out and it can be whatever hairstyle he wants.
Well, my hair burned off, and I wanted to make sure I,
I
had
didn't
a
want
fail.
that to happen again.
Yeah, I didn't want it to happen again, so he made it retractable.
That's great. I love it so much.
Luffy having his whole training with Haki for 2 years. He's a bit older. He still has the scar from Akuma.
He got tough as well.
Or Akainu. Akainu.
Yeah.
Or in the way that the dub says Akainu.
I'm glad you did the same comment I made when I was listening to Marineford of like, or as the dub says, Akainu.
Akainu.
We're both doing that now.
Because it's so stupid.
You get Robin, who
We get
Robin
then we
and
get
Nami,
the best.
I will say same change of god damn. Anyway,
that Robin has now been in more sunny situations, so she's lost Or wait, no, she was stuck on the
She was stuck in Russia.
yeah,
She
was
was
stuck
in Russia.
Yeah, I was
She
saying the
went
opposite.
to Russia.
Because she was because she was been on the desert for so long, she got a
That's what I was
heavy tan,
I
and
was-
now that she's finally off of it and had more time to be in
Turned into
Russia,
a proper Russian woman.
she is back to her like normal like skin color, like she lost her tan.
Yeah, she lost her tan essentially. Like, I have a problem with a lot of people say like, I can't believe it. They made her
They whitewashed
like
her.
they whitewashed her, and that's weird when people say that of like she's Russian.
They're naturally fair-skinned.
Yeah,
Yeah. The only one where I kind of get it for is Usopp because he got a lot lighter, and for Usopp he's like supposed to be from Africa.
yeah, and also his training thing. It would have made more sense for him to be darker, also,
Yeah.
with him being constantly outside in the jungle with Heracles.
Heracles.
I love him.
Heraclesian. I love Heracles.
And then there's Nami,
Ah.
which Jinsu, you haven't seen this part, but you know the new look of Nami.
Yeah.
Jinsu, holy shit. Yeah.
The best thing to have ever happened.
Her hair grew out.
That's what we've been playing up this entire time.
Did.
But
Yeah,
yeah, so
man.
so that's and Brook is now a superstar. He looks exactly the same, but he has the star power now.
Yeah. And so they all have their little stories as they meet up, and during this little story, there's this whole thing about a fake Straw Hat crew that's like using their name. And the best part about it is all the fake Straw Hat members are like voice swaps of the cast.
So isn't it Sanji?
The main one is Sanji, yeah.
Sanji voices the Luffy impersonator.
Yeah.
Voices Lunky.
Yeah. Something Black. His name was Something Black.
Lunky.
And so it's hilarious when you see him and it's-
Chopper's literally just a dog.
Yeah. And it's voiced by Luffy.
So it's wow, wow, wow.
Great. It's like the way they switch the voices is great. But
Isn't Frankie voiced by Brook?
yeah, Ian Sinclair, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just
So
it's
old.
and Chopper sees them before anybody else, so he assumes that like, wow, from 2 years you humans really change a lot.
Yeah.
Like Luffy's twice his size, Frankie's a twig, Nami is not Nami.
Nami
To-
looks like a fucking.
Robin looks like a child, but is actually an old woman.
Yeah. Weird. She looks
I
weird.
didn't see Pseudo Robin.
I was gonna say there was a
Don't
little.
worry.
You don't want to. It's
not good.
Is what we'll say.
The funniest the two of the fake Straw Hats I like the most is Zoro and Sanji.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, because they're aware that they're like, oh shit, this is actually Chopper from the Straw Hat Pirates. Fuck. Oh yeah, and then Sniper King. It's just a really
Yeah.
big
It's not
fat.
Usopp. It's Sniper King.
It's a really big fat guy with the mask.
Yeah.
With the I saw
Also,
a Sniper King.
To summarize their story, basically they get pissed off because some of the Straw Hats are messing with them. They don't know it's the Straw Hats.
Luffy knocks
So
him out.
they come together using the stardom of Luffy, son of the dragon. They use his stardom to gather this massive crew of like a bunch of different pirates, including a figure by the name of Caribou.
Who has the mud fruit or
Swamp fruit.
swamp fruit. But he like the color that he turns into when he like melts is like peach human skin color, like, and it just looks very bad, and
He
I
becomes
don't like
semen.
and I don't like it.
Nani?
But he also has like an infinite pocket. He has
my fruit.
he has
Come fruit.
oh
No. I make people come to me.
wait, what does that mean? No, it should be.
What about you? I have the semen fruit. Oh, you can summon sailors?
Sailors. No. That's worse than testicular torsion. That's forced torsion.
But yeah, no. So they meet up, and
They all
what
get their.
happens? Pacifistas show up.
Oh yeah, because they hear that the Straw Hats are amassing a force of a shitload of pirates. So
Pacifistas show up. They try messing. They mess up a bunch of the pirates, and Luffy's there because he was just walking. And
he had Boa Hancock gave him a disguise. You know what the disguise was? The glasses with the mustache.
Groucho glasses.
And she was just like, "You must use it, Luffy." And Luffy's just like, "All right,
So he gets this whole awesome sequence.
I'll do it for you, Boa Hancock." He said my name.
Drops his bag, drops all his cloak, and the pacifista starts shooting at him. He's perfectly dodging it, and he destroys one with a single punch.
With a single punch, this very same Luffy, after 2 years of training, takes out a pacifista with one single hit, with one piece.
Starts running off to the sunny.
Piece of the pie.
Starts running off to the sunny and ends up seeing Rayleigh on his way. Says bye, thanks for caring for me and all this.
And Rayleigh
Rayleigh begins to cry because
Another
my
dead.
son. And so leaves, and they start heading off to Fishman Island.
Because the Sunny has coded, because Rayleigh successfully coded the Sunny in a giant bubble thing that inflates, and the ship is able to submerge. And they have to submerge 30,000 feet.
Rayleigh, as they begin to submerge, begins to remember when he first met Roger.
And how he was wearing
Join my crew!
And how he was wearing that straw hat.
So yeah, he gave the straw hat to Shanks, and
Shanks gave it to Luffy.
Shanks gave it to Luffy, which is awesome. Caribou tried to finish off the different fake Straw Hats, and so went off to find the real Straw Hats and stowed away on their ship.
He's stowed away in a barrel, and over the time of them going down to Fishman Island, he just keeps popping back out of the barrel every so often until Frankie catches him, and then just keeps the barrel shut.
To summarize anything
shut.
To summarize anything to do with Caribou, had a whole thing where it was his pirate crew showed up and tried to help him, and it turns out that they actually had the cow sea king creature from the Fishman
Arlong.
district.
Arlong.
From Arlong Park. All the way back then. Comes back, and it's now owned by them, and so it runs away
as soon as it sees
them.
Luffy.
That they deal with the whole Caribou situation, and after they're done dealing with that, Frankie mentions that a certain someone was protecting the Sunny. And it turns out for most of those 2 years, it was actually Kuma, Bartholomew Kuma, who was protecting the Sunny. As like a last request from him to Vegapunk of like, please allow me to do this
Before
I fully convert.
Before he became fully, instead of
To
cyborg,
Judaism.
what? And he became from cyborg to full robot.
Yeah.
And it was like Frankie walking up to him and just being like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
I need to show you the video. Someone made a statue of Kuma protecting the Sunny.
Ooh.
Someone made a statue of it. It looks stupendous.
I don't remember seeing. Did Kuma still have the pawpaw fruit while being full
Yes.
robot? Okay.
He does.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So they sink to the bottom of the ocean, heading to Fishman Island.
Coming across
Along the way, they encounter
the Kraken. And what
And-
does Luffy do? What do you think Luffy does in this situation, Jinsu?
you meet the Kraken. What do you do?
What does Luffy do?
Make it his bitch.
Also known as Pet.
Actually, yeah, you're both right. Yeah. So
What do you mean? I'm solid. I know I'm right.
no, it's his bitch. But no, it's
I'm gonna make that thing my bitch.
It is funny though. Of like punches the Kraken, and what happens? It spits up a shark. It just spits up a shark with a t-shirt, and so the shark floats away. Just like, thank you so much.
And turns out that shark comes back later.
Yeah, but they encounter the
you
Kraken.
know?
They try to deal with it. Luffy and Zoro and Sanji float away by accident while fighting the Kraken, and so they're split off from the ship. Then they encounter a giant under the water. That
Chopapa.
Yeah, basically the Chopapa, basically of a giant, and it's behind it is the Flying Dutchman,
Oh shit.
owned by a man by the name of Vanderdecken the 10th
Oh shit. A rat.
or 9th.
Oh
I
shit.
don't care. It's Vanderdecken. They
Who-
encounter this guy, and
Are we
the
allowed to
giant
say-
gets beat. What?
Are we allowed to say the word that he is?
No.
Okay.
Well,
He's a creep.
The better word for it would be that he is,
A creep.
unfortunately, a predator.
A creep.
Like his storyline involves the fact that he is a predator, and it is gross.
To someone that doesn't want him to be a predator.
That is, yeah, that's what the term means. Yeah. Sound like a dick, but it's honest.
It was us just building on to. Do you understand what we're trying to say, but are not allowed to say?
The Kraken returns, being the pet of Luffy, and punches the giant away. And so they manage to make their way to the edge of the Fishman
Oh yeah,
Island.
we get to see like after they go down, like it's the ocean.
Beautiful,
so
pristine, clear blue waters.
when they're going down to it, the ocean's like dark and full of monsters and shit and scary and all that kind of shit. But as soon as they reach 30,000 feet, where's Fishman Island is, it's like a whole other world. It's
Sunlight reaches only this area.
and the fact that the island itself it's submerged in a giant bubble and has like water in there and a landmass. It's a really crazy look to the entire thing, and then you see up top
We're safe.
the royal palace.
We're safe. New Fisherman pirates. We're not safe.
The fight.
They have a bunch of sea kings. We're really not safe.
Yeah, shit.
So they're about to fight them, but it's like, screw it. Suck up air and blast off into Fishman Island.
Yep.
Once they go to Fishman Island, they get split up. And the ones that are immediately next to each other are Sanji, Usopp, and Luffy, and Chopper.
And Sanji, the entire time after being off of the Ivankov's island, anytime he looks at Nami or Robin, gets a full-on nosebleed. And instead of in usual shows where the nosebleed is like a
Joke, yeah.
no,
It's a joke, but also matters to the story.
he is legitimately losing blood, and Chopper, being the doctor, is worried for his health and well-being and trying to give him blood transfusions. And so when they get to Fishman Island, they have to get someone to transfuse blood. But then it introduces the overall fact that there is a law that the Fishman and humans cannot give each other blood. And because it's like a whole like they would be able to, it's just forbidden. Because fishmen are like, because for some reason people just put down like the society, celestial dragons and all that kind of shit put down fishmen so much that it's impossible for them to willingly give blood.
Yep.
And so like when they're in the town, they're just like, ah shit, we gotta find someone.
We also get reintroduction as the person who ends up saving the crew.
Oh yeah,
Like brings them in and helps them out is Kami, the
Kami!
mermaid, the
Yeah!
first mermaid we ever met.
yeah,
First mermaid we ever met.
yeah,
First mermaid we ever met.
yeah,
First mermaid we ever met.
yeah.
Granny Kokoro.
The first real mermaid. The first.
She was a real mermaid.
She's the first mermaiden.
No.
I
She also has kids.
don't think those are actually her
They're not
kids.
hers.
She's just being
She's
followed
caring
around.
for kids.
She's just being followed around by these random 5 guppy
She sounds
mermaids
like the type to just have kids.
that they just flock to her. Yeah.
No, it turns out that that they just popped out of nowhere, and it's just like, I have kids now.
She's that crazy.
No, she's that kind of fish. There are fish that just do that, of just like, well, I have kids now.
Here's the thing. I don't want to believe you, and also you're wrong.
Sounds hilarious, though.
No, it's not. I hate it.
Can you imagine?
No.
No, I hate to say this. I hate to say this. It kind of reminds me of that scene from what's that movie? Open Season, of just like oh my god, the woods, like there is no restroom in here. Like, what do you do? And the deer just like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know.
Just pops them out.
Just shits right there in the woods. I don't know. Honestly, it's just like it's sitting there one day just making soup. I have kids now. Okay.
No, making mac and cheese. Man, I made too much. How convenient.
Oh yeah, let me pop up the names of the kids.
They're so useless. It doesn't matter.
No, there's a pun.
But I hate it. That's the thing. I'm usually the guy who
The
likes puns.
quintuplets.
I usually like puns, but not this one.
This pun is great.
I don't know.
It's Ichika, Nika, Sanka, Yanka, Yanka 2.
No Gonga?
Yeah.
No Gunga.
That's actually what Usopp says.
That's...
Because, yeah, it's supposed to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5-2. No, it's 4-2.
Yeah, it's 4-2.
So 42.
But, yeah.
What if in actuality it is actually 42? See, that would be funny. I'm 1, I'm 2, I'm 3,
Sanji
I'm 4,
finds
I'm
the mermaids.
17.
Sanji finds the mermaids and almost loses all his blood.
And it's understandable. It's the time where it's the most understandable for him to be like freaking out.
The princes show up.
He gives up on his dream to find the all blue because he's found heaven.
Yeah.
Also, but
I agree.
also not really.
The mermaid princes show up, and 2 of them are dumbasses. One of them is just regal.
That's the thing. They're 3 brothers. One of them is the serious older brother.
Regal.
The other 2 are who's.
Yeah. And so they show up and it's like, oh, we've come for Straw Hat Luffy. They're here to arrest me. I gotta run. And so they all run away with Sanji.
I always assume the worst.
And so they run away with Sanji. And they're like, wait, we just had a message from Jinbei. It's like, oh, shit.
Doesn't he finally tell, like, wasn't it Nami that he was finally able to tell that message to?
I think so. We'll get to that in a minute, yeah. Anyway, we get Robin. While she's off somewhere, she's looking for poneglyphs.
Yeah, she's fine. She's just doing her own thing.
Yeah.
I like that so much that Robin is literally just...
She just does her own thing.
She just does her own thing, doesn't care, and is just like, plot?
And no one bothers her either.
Well, she's the one she's the lore master of the Straw Hats.
You
of,
don't
like,
mess with the lore master.
This is a world full of lore. She's the only one that truly cares about the lore.
Yeah. And everybody just gives her space.
Yeah.
Frankie once again finds the Sunny.
Before he finds the Sunny.
Fuck you then.
Don't forget about a certain character he meets.
I thought they were at the Sunny also.
It's him and this character who are making their way over to the Sunny. It is Tom's brother.
Oh yeah, they explain the whole
Shinsu.
They explain the whole thing with Fishman and Mermaid, like what's technically they're technically called different things, but here's the thing. They can still intermingle, and 2 mermaids can give birth to a fishman. A fishman and a mermaid could give birth to, what was it, the
example they gave is like any random fishman can mix with any fish mermaid.
It's like dominant
and
recessive.
suddenly get like a shark fishman child, and it's a matter of recessive genes.
Yeah.
So, like, basically, they don't mind it at all. They don't think it weird at all because somewhere down the line, there was just a shark fishman.
Yeah. So they definitely explain a lot more why the fishmen are a bit more open, while the humans are obviously not.
Yeah. And so,
because no matter what, and this guy's Tom's brother.
You remember Tom, right? Frankie's master.
Yeah.
And surrogate father.
His brother is in Fishman Island.
Yeah.
And he's a chill
guy. They go
guy.
to meet each other. It's really cool, honestly.
He looks like the kind of guy that's a bartender at like a open concert.
He looks like he used to be a rocker.
Yeah, but now he's the bartender.
Yeah. But that whole thing happens, and meanwhile, as Luffy and his crew are making it to the town,
his
trying
part
to
of the
find
crew.
somebody to help, they manage to go off and find some people to get blood drawn for Sanji.
Characters.
Yeah, some characters. And meanwhile, Luffy gets to meet with a woman by the name of Madame Charlie.
Oh, yes.
Who is a shark mermaid.
And she's like 8 feet tall.
Massive.
I would say, no, 10 feet.
Massive and massive.
Yeah.
I'm describing different features.
She's massive and massive and massive.
Yeah. And also one of Mayhem's favorites.
Yeah. But she unfortunately has the thing that I don't really like when stories do it. She has the power of prophecy.
Yeah.
But then she's never been wrong before.
Misinterpreted, basically.
Misinterprets a prophecy, like right away. Like literally, as soon as like Luffy and everybody leaves, she gets a prophecy, and it's literally just Luffy kills everything, destroys
Luffy will
everything,
destroy Fishman Island,
and that's it. And it's just like okay, and then it's just no.
Well, the reason why she is so well believed.
It's because she predicted
Whitebeard's death.
Yeah, Whitebeard's death. She did all.
She predicted Marine.
She's never gotten it wrong before, so why would she get it wrong now? She got it wrong.
Well, we don't know. The future is the future, dude.
But here's the thing.
No.
At some point in the far off future, it's a possibility that Luffy destroys Fishman Island.
Possibly.
Basically, the idea that currently people have is that obviously there's the idea that he would destroy the Red Line, because that's where like the Goro's saying the.
Celestial dragons.
Celestial dragons are.
What did you call them?
The Gorosei. The 5 elders.
I don't know what that is.
God, you say?
Celestial dragons.
No, the
One
the five
Piece.
old men. The five old men.
Celestial
show.
Celestial dragons are the Tenryu Bito.
Yeah. It's One Piece. The show.
But basically, there's the idea that he would destroy the Red Line, thereby destroying the world government, essentially.
Yeah.
And from doing that, extending to Fishman Island, basically destroying it but raising it to the surface. That's one of the ideas. Of, like, honestly, the fire and brimstone kind of image that she had, I'm imagining would be the Red Line.
And it's red because fire is red.
Yeah. Dude, my favorite theory, though,
Ah.
is that Buggy's going to awaken his power and actually help to destroy the Red Line.
Okay. All right, then.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, so
Anyway...
they find Brooke.
They found Brooke. They found a few more members. I think they also found Nami.
Yeah, Nami, yeah.
And the person that ends up meeting them is actually the king of the mermaids. King, what was it? Neptune?
I think it was Neptune, yeah. But he's a great guy. He's a jolly fellow.
For
He's a jolly good fellow. He's a jolly good fellow. Because turns out that shark that they released from the Kraken, the shark is a pet
It's
for
King Neptune.
The shark is actually the pet of the princess, and Luffy saved the shark, so he gets very upstanding with the king. And the king came out without a what was it called? Honor guard. He came out without an honor guard, and to personally invite Luffy
Royal
and the
guard.
Straw Hats.
King
Royal
Neptune.
Guard, yeah.
King Neptune is the most adorable thing ever, and I love him. When he's happy,
He's just wholesome.
he's just sitting on his massive whale, just Jamon, 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 Jamon,
Just makes a little song. And
It's the greatest thing ever.
Brooke eats that up.
And so he's like, "You saved my daughter's shark." Okay.
Time to have a feast. Did you say food?
Food. And so he heads off to the castle alongside Luffy and his crew to go to a feast. And once they get in, Luffy immediately separates from everybody looking for food and finds a room locked off. He goes into the room and there's something, I guess there must have been like a what's it called?
Pillow?
No.
Cushion? Trampoline?
Trampoline! It must be a trampoline.
Ball pit?
Must have been a trampoline. Anyway, mysteriously, the mermaid princess also wakes up at the same time.
And is revealed to be a 30-foot woman.
Oh, I think almost 40 feet even. Yeah.
Oh. She's 16!
Yeah.
That is literally the entire plot of her story, is that Vanderdecken, that creep that we've described at the beginning, is trying to get with her
Trying to go for her since she was
marriage
6.
for 10 years. She's 16.
Gross.
Pain.
Very.
He has probably the most he has one that is up there as one of the most weirdest devil fruits.
Yeah.
That while with one hand he touches you and marks you, and then when he touches anything else and throws it, it will always find you and hit you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mark fruit.
Basically, yeah.
It sounds like a stand ability.
Yeah, it really does.
It is the most stand-ish of the devil fruits.
And so that's the reason why he has a glove on at all times.
He also tries to look like Michael Jackson and ends up
Yeah.
looking like the the guy from Curious George that looks like a banana.
So Vanderdecken is throwing axes because apparently that's how he wants.
I love you! If you're not gonna be with me...
to bury the hatchet. If not with you, then in your skull.
Yeah, that's what he says, yeah. It's so funny.
And so he's throwing shit, and Luffy catches and protects her, and is like, oh, you saved me. Like, you want to be my friend? You kind of are just the worst.
Yeah, and she's...
Why would you say that? You're a crybaby as well. You just fucking suck.
Where?
Honestly, you should kill yourself now.
Luffy hates her for, like, more than half of the entire arc.
That she's present, and it's like, Jesus Christ, Luffy.
It's the best
Give her
part.
a moment.
And she's literally been locked in her room, traumatized because her mom's mom is dead, and Luffy's just going, "Shut up! I hate you."
Can you at least Yeah, sure. Let's go to the Sea Force. I don't fucking care right now. Let's go.
Fucking
And so he takes her away from the castle.
Because technically
over
she's the
to-
safest with him.
Yeah, and so he takes her. Straw Hats get arrested for
Kidnapping the
because-
princess.
Kidnapping the princess, which they technically did do.
Which is oh yeah, Zoro. They found out that he was already at the castle. That he was the first one that they found and took to the castle, and he was just drinking all of their booze.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious how they were just like, "How's he not dead yet?"
This is also the time we get a proper introduction of the two villains being Vanderdecken and Hody Jones.
Horny Jones.
Horny Jones.
Horny Jones.
We get met with Vanderdecken and Horny Jones. This sounds like a porn parody. God damn it.
Well, when you try and do that voice, then yes. Anything you
But-
say turns to.
They're doing this whole thing where basically the new Fishman pirates, led by Hody Jones, are like ready to take over the castle, ready to kill all the humans, and Hachin pops in.
Oh,
we
yeah,
cannot continue this racism.
We
must let it end with us.
We gotta stop! Oh my
Let it end with us.
Try and do his voice with like the extended mouth.
Hardy Jones?
No,
Hachin.
Hachi.
Hutch.
Oh my
I
god.
hate Hutch's English voice.
What do you don't like about it,
You don't like his English voice?
Jinzu?
No.
What about his Japanese voice? What's his Japanese voice?
It sounds like he's taking a shit.
Stop racism. Meanwhile, in English,
It goes off the.
I
his
like
look.
that it. That's one thing I really like about One Piece voice actors in dub. Of they look at the character and they go based off of that. They don't go based off what they heard. They go based off of what they look like.
Yeah.
Like Frankie, it was Patrick Seitz looking at the character and going, "He's gonna talk like this."
he's gonna talk like, "Hoo ah yeah."
And so when it came when it came to Hachin, it was I feel he looked over, he looked at him and was like,
He must talk like this. Talk like a porpoise trying to do a Kermit accent.
basically. I imagine he would curve his lips in the same way and then just plug his nose so he would sound as nasally as possible.
It's the attempt to sound like Hutchin.
And so Hachin is saying like, no, we can't do this. We can't continue the racism. And just Hody Jones is just like,
Shame.
screw it. You don't want to join in our racist crusade? Axe upon thee.
Yeah, he tries to kill him.
Whoa, axe upon thee.
Whoa, bleeding and for profusely be upon thee.
And
How do you
so
do that? Ah!
Hachin escapes to the forest and barely, basically.
He gets like, doesn't he get shot with a bunch of arrows?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Basically whole escape thing of I think Nami and Kami are the only ones able to escape as basically the new Fishman pirates make their way, invade the castle, and take over.
Yep. This one definitely gives this arc definitely has the villains succeed for 80%, 85% of the arc.
Yeah. But meanwhile, Luffy and a bunch of other folk managed to get to what was it?
Jinbei.
Jinbei in the forest. And it turns out the reason he's there is because that is actually the gravesite of the queen of the island, Queen Otohime.
Yeah, and this is basically where they give the backstory thing. And I will say, this is my least liked backstory.
Yeah. I'll mention a little minor detail I just thought was cool of Robin manages to find the poneglyph while they're doing this.
Yeah.
She finds the poneglyph. What is the poneglyph? Apparently it's just some
Apology.
it's a letter. It's a letter of apology by a man named Joy Boy.
Joy Boy.
And so we get that, and now we get the backstory. I'll mention what the backstory is real quick. It is the backstory of two characters, Fisher Tiger and Queen Otohime. And the only reason they're mentioned together is because of the fact that they're very much tied together in their theme of dealing with the racism between fishmen, mermaids, and humans.
And it definitely, I do like how it brings it to light and how the queen, how she really tries to overcome the island's prejudice and humanity's prejudice. And she's fighting an uphill battle the entire time.
I'll mention Fisher Tiger first.
Yeah.
His complete story is that he basically went off into the world to discover new things. Some stuff happened, I'll get to in a second. Returns and decides he's going to form a group known as the Fishman Pirates. The Sun Pirates.
The Sun Pirates, yes.
And he's going to give each of them a mark. to signify basically the removal of the mark given by
the celestial dragons for their slaves, so that they would be
basically the sun mark covers up the entire shape.
Yeah, so that way, and they all take it even if they were slave or not,
Yeah.
so that they're indiscernible.
Yeah. And so goes in and gives all his men this mark, and they go off to basically just go after anybody like with slaves, like try to free as many slaves as possible. Turns out that Fisher Tiger at like before coming had freed so many slaves from the celestial dragons, including Boa Hancock and her sisters. And after
It was a very momentous moment in history of him freeing so many of the slaves that turned out to be so many people that influence the world now in One Piece.
And so they managed to leave. They managed to go off. They start having all this adventure.
The Sun
freeing
Pirates.
So many slaves.
The Sun Pirates include Fisher Tiger, Jinbei, and Arlong,
as well as many of their men.
Yeah,
but those
and
are
Hachin.
The most notable three. And so they go off. They have their adventures, and over time they become very famous for freeing slaves, which is against the will of the celestial dragons, which is the most terrifying thing possible.
Which is the hardest thing for anybody to do in that world.
Yeah.
Is defy the celestial dragons.
And their number one thing is they do not want to kill any humans.
Yeah.
Except
for
Arlong. Yeah. Who's ready to kill. But one day, they end up meeting a little girl who was a slave for God knows how long by the name of Koala.
Oh.
And when they meet Koala, she's petrified. She believes that they're going to kill her.
And so she
she's
does
doing anything.
She defaults to the same thing that was preventing her from being killed from the celestial dragons, which is give an unwavering smile and like doing whatever they say without question. Not even sleeping, not even eating, not even doing nothing.
This was the part of the backstory that truly broke me the most, of like how sad it was to see Koala like this.
Yeah.
Because Fisher Tiger, what he does to finally convince her is he takes his gun and he throws it overboard. And he kneels down.
I'll get it for you, Captain.
He kneels down to her and he says, "It's okay to cry. You don't have to force a smile. You don't have to force this. It's okay to cry."
Yep.
And she finally breaks down.
He forces her to finally break down and realize that she is safe.
She becomes just a member of the crew at that point.
The chopper of the crew.
She's the chopper of the crew. She's being taken care of. She's loved by most of them.
Did I get Jujutsu?
She's a subhuman of the group.
The only one that's different from everybody.
All except for, obviously, Arlong. Yeah. Arlong is the only one that still mistreats her.
I hate this child!
Eventually, she is brought home, and she's taken to her family, and turns out
the
people
sold out.
Like the Fishman pirates were sold out.
Yeah.
And so she goes home, and she says, "I hope we see again, Uncle Fisher." And so she goes off, and her family sold out the Fishman pirates. And this is the point when Fisher Tiger is attacked and almost killed by humans.
And the only way that he can be survived is by having a blood transfusion.
Which, by the way, he has the same blood type as Sanji.
Wow.
Yeah, that kind of rare blood type.
But he refuses it.
Yeah. And so, because of that, just he slowly dies, but his last words are essentially, "It's okay. I want the hatred that I feel for humans. It will never go away. No matter what I do, it will never go away, the hatred I feel for humans. And so I want that to die with me. I want to...
Doesn't want it to carry on and live on.
I want the next generation to look without hatred."
Yep. That no matter what he actually felt about humans, Fisher Tiger was actually able to hold it in right up until he dies. That he did hate humans. That everything that happened to him negatively and to his people was because of humans. Yeah. So he absolutely had a hatred for them. Yeah. But he never expressly said that to Jinbei and Arlong and all of them. But unfortunately...
Jinbei has his whole thing where he goes off and, because of his notoriety, gets to become a warlord and goes off and
sends...
Arlong gets arrested.
Yeah,
he spreads the story that humans are the reason why he died. And so that just spreads the hatred.
And Arlong, since he heard that Fisher Tiger said that he still had a hatred for humans, he uses it as a justification for his growing crusade against humans.
Jinbei ends up releasing Arlong in hopes that he can rejoin his old friend. Doesn't. He goes off and Arlong parks.
Into the East Blue, and that's exactly when Arlong goes to Nami's place and kills Nami's mom.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Queen Otahime, her story. Basically, all her life...
Martin Luther King Jr.
she's spreading these pamphlets in hopes that one day they can go to the World Summit and be able to talk with other world leaders.
Be represented.
The Reverie, it was called. And so she wants to go in 2 years' time.
Oh.
She misses it. She misses it. She misses it each time.
Not getting
one
enough
after
support.
Another. Well, caring for her kids caring for her. And 1 year, she ends up encountering a celestial dragon who crashed down, and a bunch of fishermen were going to come and kill him because it's a celestial dragon. She defended him.
She was the only one who
and
did it.
Over time, she nursed him back to health and eventually decided to go with him to return home in hopes that she could teach him some lessons. She returns several weeks later, and it looks like it may have worked.
Because they get invited to, like, if they can get
Reverie.
enough, they will go to the Revelry.
And so she gets all these signatures. She starts to collect them.
There's hope!
There's hope until they all light on fire, and she's shot at and killed.
And isn't it weird how Horty Jones finds the exact guy who did it, and it's a human? Oh.
Human did this! A human!
And as she's laying there dying, her kids are there. They come up to her, and they're just like, "Ah, Mom!" And she's just like, "Don't cry.
Don't freak out, because your sister has a superpower that could kill us all."
If she cries. And Horty Jones, he kind of not Horty Jones, sorry, Vanderdecken. He learned about this, that she's able to...
so sad. Boop.
Yeah, he goes and taps her on the shoulder and then runs away so that he marks her, and this to set that up. And basically, when she's about to cry, when Shirahoshi's about to cry, two of the brothers they're about to cry, then they force back their tears and do the goofy shit that we were introduced to them as. It's all an act. Those two goofy brothers. It's all an act. In order to keep their sister happy,
It was actually happy.
to keep the people happy, to show that their princes are like having a good time, ready to party, and all that kind of everything's all good. And that right then and there was the moment that the backstory lost me.
It didn't lose me. I liked it.
It was salt in the wound.
Nah, you just
Lost
bitch.
you.
No.
It lost me because it's just One Piece backstories have that one thing that's like, oh man, this is a really intense backstory. Oh my god, I completely understand it. And then, boom, and you go, ah, fuck.
I still say you mentioned like one of the backstories that it went over the top for you was Chopper's with the mushroom.
With the mushroom,
I still disagree with you on that because of the fact that his devil fruit is a mushroom.
It's a good idea,
It's a good portrayal that like even though he made the mistake and it cost the life of his basically father, it's still there is hope because he is the cure to
that's not the
all diseases.
But that's not what's my issue is with it. My issue is with it. It's just is the fact that it was a poisonous mushroom. That it was actually going to kill him, that he was going to be responsible for it. That's my issue. It's just kind of like, it's over the top, that's like, dramatic! And it's just like, no.
It is my favorite backstory. I will never deny. I will never accept any criticism.
It didn't have to go that intense. And with, Frankie's, it was shit.
The frog? Stopping the train?
The frog, but... you mean
your favorite? Yeah.
But like it was still like that's it still being my favorite, still being one of my most enjoyed backstories, but it is that one extra little bit that's just like it didn't have to hit that hard.
I think I know what it is. I'm starting to realize what it is now.
What?
Part of these things that you're saying you don't like are backstories for other characters that are just included in the whole.
Yeah, that it's just like it's like when backstory
By
should
itself?
focus
By itself, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
That's the thing. One Piece doesn't tell the backstory of one character. It tells the story of many people
Also known as too much.
during this time. The entire arc is telling the story of many people.
Exactly.
That's the point of One Piece. It tells the story of the collective. It doesn't tell the story of the one.
Exactly.
It's just telling the story of one piece. Like, when you say that, like, your thing about it that you don't like is the basically extra big backstory.
The little extra, like...
That is the one thing that we will not lose, because that's the point. They're never going to share of just, like, here's the story of just one person.
I think...
They
No,
always
it's
tell
not,
the story
it's not
of
so
the
much...
collective.
Okay, it's not so much that it's right in... My issue is more... Not that it's there, but more that it's in your face about it.
Yeah.
That it's like, if it was more subtly done, I would be more okay with it.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's, this is why that they're weird and kooky. Ah!
It's basically, the best way to put it, to hopefully make you feel a little better, they're telling the backstory in the same way they would tell the regular story.
Probably.
That's the way they are doing it. Like, they are
I don't like
doing it. Of, like, Oda tells the backstory the same way he would tell the regular story, while most creators, like, when they tell a backstory, it's only from, like, one perspective.
What I prefer.
Which I do not prefer. Like,
I prefer...
I'll say, wanna know why I don't prefer it?
Hmm.
Because then it gives a chance for, like, 13 other characters in the future to just go, like, yes, I was there, and this thing. And then you have to go and get the same fucking flashback. Yeah. Fucking 3 more times. I hate that.
They're gonna do that anyway. Fucking don't do that, Jinsu.
In One Piece, they don't.
But it's just a lot.
It's just a lot. Flashbacks all the time because, like, to pad out time.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a lot, and that's my issue, is that it's a lot, and
anyway,
I don't like a lot. I
so
want more subtlety.
We get the backstories, and now we get the whole thing of, like, we gotta go stop Hody Jones.
Because he has cooed and won and captured the king and the princess.
Castle. What happened while he was attacking the castle? He got sliced by Zoro. In the coolest fashion.
There was a really good fight between them.
Yeah. And so...
Jinsu.
Zoro. Oh, I'm dying!
Zoro fight.
Yeah, Zoro fight was awesome. Like, oh, I'm dying from this slice. I need to get as many drugs as possible.
What?
He downs as many drugs as possible.
Yeah, they have
these power-up drugs.
Steroid power-up drugs.
Yeah. Down as many as possible, and he turns into an old creature beast thing.
Which turns out for Fishman, when they get older, they get stronger.
Yeah. And so, has that power-up. All his men are getting the similar power-up. And let's move on, basically, to... they're gonna try to execute the king. So, here comes Luffy and the gang.
Everybody comes back at the same time.
And so the shark, Shirahoshi, Jinbei show up, and it's like, you can't be doing this. And it's like, fuck you, we're evil. We killed Queen Otahime. And it's like, how dare you?
How fucking dare you?
You're a monster. You're a monster. Luffy, go.
Luffy, I choose you.
Luffy, I choose you.
King of the pirates. King of the pirates.
Use shockwave.
Yeah, Hody Jones has, like, the biggest force of
100,000.
Yeah, 100,000 soldiers of both Fishman and humans. And Luffy just outright, when he uses Haki,
knocks out 50,000.
Knocks out half of them. And it is hilarious. I love it. And everybody just starts fighting.
Time for the power-ups.
Yeah.
You want to go in order? Like, don't mention the crazy fights. Like, there's so many fights.
I won't remember them.
Exactly. So I'll just.
We gotta do Frankie's.
I was gonna say I'm gonna mention. Well, that's the thing. I'm gonna mention the power ups.
Yeah, we gotta do Frankie's.
I'm not mentioning the fights themselves. I'm
yes.
mentioning the power ups.
Yes.
Frankie will do the first because that's your favorite, right?
Yes, because he had the best power up.
General Frankie.
Frankie became the toy merchandise advertising character.
Giant robot. It's the greatest thing ever. Nami
and a motorcycle.
Giant lightning clouds.
Yeah, she's a lot more intuitive in her magic.
Usopp
her weather
can
magic.
Fire plant bullets that turn into giant plants.
He has seeds from that island that he was on, and a bunch of the vicious plants and shit that he had. So he has a bunch of those kind of special powers.
Zoro is just stronger.
Chopper it can transform without rumble balls.
Yeah, and so he can go into Monster Point from one rumble ball.
Oh yeah,
and he can control it.
Yeah, he can control his awakened state. His early awakened state.
I still like the idea that it's a forced awakened.
Eldritch human form.
I love that it looks
original human.
His Wendigo form.
Yeah.
It looks like he's out of control for a moment until it's like, Look, I got it.
I did it, guys. Robin has the best one.
The wind
Robin gets
chopper.
best power up of she now can make big old essentially constructs out of her arms, like giant legs and crush you.
Yeah.
Great. She can make any. Now she doesn't have to make just arms. She can and hands. She can make anything
Wings.
It's great.
out of hands. And then
Dummy mommy.
Sanji.
Oh yeah,
He-
Sanji
he's
can
revealed
walk in
to
the air.
yeah he can run away on the air now.
Turns out the way he would run away from that one island is he would just jump into the sky and start skywalking. Lucci was able to do that back
guy-
in Eni's lobby.
It was moonwalk.
yeah, moonwalk. He's able to moonwalk. Yeah,
kicked the
Sanji
air.
just learned how to moonwalk.
Yeah, he just kicks the air and he's able to go.
And so now he's able to do that.
Brooke is able to separate his soul from his body and make and be able to like talk with someone to help him escape from like jail or
Soul
something like
powers.
that. His soul king powers.
Yeah, so he's got a spirit form, and the other thing is now he is able to basically have an ice power.
Oh yeah, he's got
Of like he's got
the
like
ice of death.
yeah, ice of death basically. It's really cool. And so
So
finally,
he has an elemental damage type now also.
let's get to the big shit. We get Luffy versus Hody Jones. As Vanderdecken is like, I'm pissed because she refused my proposal.
You're just not my type. That's
Yeah,
her only
that's
reason.
Her only reasoning. Shirahoshi's only reasoning for refusing Vanderdecken. You're not my type.
That's
You're
it.
just not my type.
And everybody's just like, that's the reason.
That's
and
the only reason.
And Vanderdecken's just like, okay.
And I'll kill you. And so he throws a giant boat that they had been meeting in called the Noah.
And it is huge. It's bigger than Eneru's boat.
It is half the size of an Imperial Star Destroyer.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's big.
I
That's
saw
very
that.
big.
I saw that YouTube video.
And so gets thrown, and it's gonna crash into Fishman Island and kill everybody. But Shirahoshi floats up and starts just going up to avoid the ship and
because
to
it's-
avoid crushing the island.
Because the ship is going to Shirahoshi. And so if she leaves the island, then the ship won't hit the island. And Horty Jones is actually furious about this and goes and
I want the island to die. Fuck these people.
Yeah, and he stabs Vanderdecken, which might end up possibly killing him.
Yeah,
Especially since it deactivates the devil fruit powers.
but what does end up happening is, as well as he's fighting to try to stop Shirahoshi from running, he has this whole thing where it is the three brothers as well as Luffy flying up to fight him.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that like it would have hurt the backstory if they continue to be silly as much as possible.
No, they get full serious.
They get full serious. They're warriors. It's really cool. Like once again, I think the backstory would be worse if they had just stayed silly at all times.
No, I think it would have been like that's the reveal moment for them that they actually are serious, and then you kind of realize, oh, they were probably doing that for just appearances and trying to keep their sister happy, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or like not keeping the sister happy until like later.
Yeah.
Until like when they finally are able to get Goofy again.
Anyway, they have this whole fight. It's really cool. They're getting messed up by Horty Jones
Because he's a nightmare.
Horty Jones manages to
monster.
get onto the ship, the Noah, and try to kill Vanderdecken. He's starting to fall, and so the ship's starting to fall. And so what do? They shoot. The castle itself is like, don't worry, we'll help you out, and it shoots a bubble to
Try and
trap the Noah so that it doesn't crash in yet. And so they go in, and Luffy gets to have his fight with Horty. Before that, we get the reveal of why it is that he hates humans. My reasoning for hating humans.
Speak clearly into the mic, please.
My reason for hating humans is nothing at all.
Is because Arlong did.
No, he says nothing.
He says nothing, but he still follows
It
like
wasn't Arlong, actually.
But
That's
he-
what he
like-
clarifies. Arlong was not his reason at all.
but he uses Arlong. He uses
Bishop
Arlong.
Dagger?
Uses him as an image,
Yeah.
but he doesn't care about any of those people. The only reason why is because when he was a kid, that's how he was taught. Like, all the fishmen got all excited whenever something messed up happened to humans. So it's like, that must be cool then.
Must be
Humans
good.
just suck.
Must be good for humans to be constantly going through hell.
And so that's his entire thing.
But
He's just essentially hating for no reason. It is exactly what Queen Otohime feared, that the next generation would just be filled with hate for no reason.
He is the product of exactly what
That's just
What-
the way they do it.
untested racism and hatred does. He is
Yeah.
the result.
So, first off, I love that. Like, the reveal that he just, like, there is no reason for him to hate is incredible.
That he just does.
Like,
He's-
you don't have any other character like that. Like, Arlong, his entire reasoning is because humans have been messing them up for ages.
And Sabaody Park, he was never invited onto it, so when he made his own place, he made Arlong Park.
Yeah, that whole thing. But, man, the way they handle that, holy shit. And so, now we get Luffy's fight with Horty Jones. So cool, running around, catching him off guard, just beating the shit out of him.
Whenever
And
Luffy's in the
eventually-
water, he's losing, but when he's out of the water, he's winning.
Yeah. And so he gets one last punch in on Horty Jones, and what is it?
It's a really big attack.
Not the big one yet. It was the small attack where he threw his arm back, basically the jet pistol that he does in Gear 2.
Yeah.
Except it lit on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Inspired by Ace.
Yeah, it was
Red Hawk.
It was his brother tribute attack.
Brother tribute
yeah.
attack, Red Hawk.
And
So good. I love that.
and then Luffy just starts laying into him with a Gatling pistol. But the difference is that it's with the Gear 3 giant fists, also with hockey,
Yeah.
and starts destroying the Noah
Yeah.
as like a sort of thing. And everybody's just watching and just going, holy shit!
It fucking destroy the ship, and Shirahoshi, meanwhile, understands how important the ship is, and so is like, no, we can't do this, and so activates her powers that we got a bit of a hint at earlier. She can control Sea Kings.
And
She's just able to call them,
And
and
turns
so
out
she calls them.
Yeah, and turns out that the ship, the Noah, is actually for Shirahoshi because she's a legendary figure that was like had like a whole prophecy sort of thing, and that she is like the queen of the ocean, becomes queen of the ocean, and her ship gets pulled by Sea Kings, willingly
Yeah.
pulled by Sea Kings.
Oh, how do we find this out?
From the Sea Kings
They
themselves.
tell us.
Yeah, the Sea Kings talk.
The Sea Kings begin to speak.
And it's terrifying.
Yeah, Jinzu. The Sea Kings can talk to Shirahoshi, and Luffy can understand them.
Terrifying.
And they're all surprised of like, I think he was able to understand us. That was kind of weird. I mean, it's not too weird. Remember that one time that somebody else was able to hear us, kinda? It's like, what?
I wonder who that could be.
Who do you think it is?
Gold Roger.
Oh,
Jenks.
Or Jenks. Or maybe even Buggy.
Maybe
it was
even
buggy.
the
was
Silver
buggy.
Rayleigh.
Silver's really.
Yeah, but no, it's cool. We'll be able to hear more about that in the far off
Yeah.
future, obviously.
So they have their party. They get to enjoy the mermaids and all that kind of shit.
Oh.
It's great.
But
Brooke performs.
Before that,
What?
Luffy's dying.
Oh yeah.
He
From
needs a blood
because
transfusion.
he did too much Gear 3, so it's very much killing him. And who's the one person that has the same blood type as Luffy, and is also doing it as a show of peace between humans and fishmen?
Oda.
Oh shit. He's in it. No, Jinbei. Jinbei.
Jimbo.
Jimbo's Neutron.
Ooh, let's go, Jimbo!
Jimbo's Neutron. Also known as Jinbei, first son of the sea.
Jinbei saves his son. And Luffy says, join my crew, you fish stick.
and Jinbei's just like, not yet, I still need to do another thing.
I have other things to do first.
I'll be back next time.
I must go, my people need me. Jinbei died on his way to his home planet.
God damn it!
But
It turns out I can't breathe in space!
and so they go off, and around this time, before he essentially leaves off to do his own thing, Jinbei gets to tell him of like, did you not know what's happened in the world so far?
There's a lot of shit that's been
So,
happening for
let's
2
list
years.
some shit. First off, Aokiji left the Marines after fighting Akainu.
After having a bit of a discussion. Slaves should be free. Slaves should be free.
Akainu becomes the fleet admiral.
Becomes the next guy in charge.
There's a bit of a shift in the warlords, or not the warlords. Sorry, the emperors, because now Blackbeard is
Blackbeard
one
is-
of the 4 emperors, taking the place of Whitebeard.
Yeah, and like the whole like territories of the emperors are all getting shooken up, and Big Mom has taken over Fishman Island.
Yeah.
And there was a little like tease of Big Mom that
I love this scene so much.
that we get
of
to
the-
introduce with Big Mom. I don't want to go too far into it
I'll
just yet.
mention the basic details of it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because that's literally what the next scene is.
Yeah.
Of like, oh, I could mention the caribou scene of like, I could kidnap the princess. No.
And that's the end of Caribou.
And so Caribou died on the way to his home planet. Yeah. But essentially what happens is Big Mom sends two folk to come and take the treasure, take the candy.
To take
to
their monthly payment
Of
to
candy.
keep getting protection.
She's a gangster, essentially.
Yeah. It actually has the devil fruit that I now want.
Which is
The consume fruit or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Which
sure.
is?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you'll see.
which is,
I don't know what it is.
It doesn't reveal what the fruit is.
but you know what it is.
Oh, I know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
Oh, I know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
Say what it is. No, I'm just kidding.
Titty fruit. I can't believe it. Sorry, that's Nami's fruit.
She has a
Old
fruit.
Nami is just gonna look like Big Mom.
Why would you say that?
Sad.
Why would you say that name?
But here's the thing. She won't look like that right now.
So Luffy sees that they're basically being fucked
Hustled.
with.
Hustled.
Yeah, they're being hustled, and it's like, oh, are you guys from Big Mom? Oh, that's so cool. I haven't met Big Mom. It's like, you will give us the candy or you will die. I don't like these guys.
I'm gonna hurt them. I ate the candy.
Gets the phone for Big Mom, and you get to see Big Mom, who's in a room alongside this three-eyed girl and freaky people walking in.
What does it? I can't remember. Like when we're watching. Yeah, fucking like puppeteering, like marionette, sort of like.
Just crack, and it has cracking sound effects.
Yeah.
Even worse.
It's fucking weird.
And so pops in. I was just like, Fishman Island can't bring their offering.
What? And I wanted their sweet, delicious candy.
Yes, Mama.
I eat you now.
She just eats a bunch of people.
Yep.
She's a cannibal. And so we get this whole thing where she gets call in Fishman Island. And it's like, why the hell do I not have my treats?
Because
and
fuck
Luffy
you.
answers the call.
I ate him.
Fuck you.
He's like, you ate my treats? Yes.
Fuck you.
And guess what? You's a bitch-ass motherfucker.
Fishman-
Fishman Island is mine.
Is mine now. And this is the first place that Luffy officially takes as a Straw Hat. Like, as captain of the Straw Hats, he officially
Has taken territory.
taken territory now. And
Which is one of the requirements of emperors.
yeah.
So it's like, okay.
He's gotta contend for emperor position before he can actually become king of the pirates.
Yeah. And so it's like, oh, okay.
I
Yes.
wonder who he's gonna take over from being emperor.
Big Mom.
Kaido.
Maybe.
Or
But
maybe he's gonna get rid of Blackbeard. Or maybe it could be Shanks. Or maybe
maybe he stabbed Shanks in the dick.
Maybe he
And
does.
took his spot.
Maybe he does none of it and just does it.
Maybe he just does it.
But yeah,
Doesn't be a bitch.
So it was a very good introduction to Big Mom because, holy shit, I am thoroughly
Yeah.
intimidated and excited to see more of her.
So they get to leave in Fishman Island. They say goodbye. Make a pinky promise to see each other again with Shiraho. She's real nice.
So the
because
giant,
that's the same
her
pinky
giant
promise.
finger.
That's also the same thing that she would do with her mom. Pinky promises. It was nice.
Yeah.
And they ascend out of the water. There's this really nice moment of Brook when he sees a bunch of island whales as they're leaving.
Laboons!
And so he sings, what's it called? Binks Brew.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And so they're getting ready to ascend. And as they ascend, they end up seeing, what was it? Or they don't see it. Outside the water is a G7 ship, it's called. And it is a marine ship that is going after pirates and going after all these different shit. And it is owned by Tashigi and Smoker.
Yep.
Captain Tashigi and Vice Admiral Smoker.
Smoker's been promoted!
So now you see Tashigi and Smoker and Tashigi looking great.
Yeah, she got time
Sorry.
skipped also. But yeah,
So good.
so that was the story of Fishman Island.
Yeah.
Were you awake for some of it?
best arc of One Piece.
No, heavily not.
Waiting for Wano, yes.
But yeah, this one, it was definitely the most A to B story. with like trying that it's like it was
Very simple plot.
It was A to B, but it wasn't a straight line. It was like it was a zigzag basically.
Yeah.
But overall, by the end, it was very cut dry, very good, and we're going to be getting Jinbei after this eventually.
I get to mention this now.
We'll be on the team.
I get to mention this. Do you want to hear something kind of cool?
Yeah.
I was gonna mention it earlier when we mentioned Hody Jones' whole thing.
Why? No! I don't want it in here.
But I was gonna say, do you want to hear something great? Hody Jones, we actually get to hear about this. There was a
Did he die?
There was a little girl in his backstory.
Yeah.
Around like a little younger than him, holding a little crystal ball. Right?
Yeah. Oh, that was Charlie.
That was Madame Charlie. Do you want to hear something great?
What?
When asked about that, of like, was that Madame Charlie? He was like, yeah, Oda. He's like, yeah, no. And he decided to reveal something else kind of cool.
What?
She's the half sister of Arlong.
Ooh.
Because of sharks.
Sharks.
Basically, what happened
Sharks.
was Arlong's
Oh, so she has a bias. Okay.
Arlong's father left when he was a kid and came back years later and basically was like, here's your sister.
Here you go.
Had one of those stories and was like, oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So
Just, I was
say-
holding on to that for a while because I wanted to mention that to you. I
very.
want to see your reaction to that.
That's very nice. That is like another detail, but I will say, just real fast I really like Silver's Rayleigh. I really like him. He's one of my favorite characters now.
Kuma is one of my favorite characters because of arcs like this.
Yeah.
Bartholomew Kuma?
Yeah.
Bartholomew. Barth.
Barthy?
Bartholomew?
Barthy is your favorite?
Bartholomew. Bofa for short.
Both of these Kumas are your favorite?
But also Shirahoshi was great. She was hilarious.
The first, the oldest prince, another one of my favorites.
Yeah, there was a lot of good characters. in this
Great.
one.
Like, the characters in this arc were all just great except for Vanderdecken. All just great.
Yeah, they for some reason decided to do we made a lot of good characters. Let's make one that's not good.
Great character. Predator. Great character.
Made you look.
And it's like, I'll say on the bright side, there's a lot of jokes that he does have that are funny.
He
as
is
long as
hilarious.
You just avoid that part of him.
Yeah.
Like, you avoid that part of him, it's hilarious.
So yeah.
But yeah, any like characters you can think of that you like?
Jinsu.
From where you are in the story right now, which is
Watching a Totally Not Mark video.
I like Ace.
yeah.
I like Ace too.
I sure hope he don't die.
I sure hope he don't die. Oh no!
Oh no.
He dead.
His ass got donuted.
He donut. I love donut shops.
That one picture you sent of Donald with the boner and it's killing Kakyoin.
Yeah. But
Great.
It was so sad when Kakyoin died. Anyways.
It's the worst.
Good character death.
Yeah.
yeah, so what do you think of like Fishman Island?
I'm
I'm asking Jinsu.
I know that Jinsu hasn't seen it, so his thoughts about it are going to be very confused.
I was not expecting racism.
Yeah, once again. Yeah, no, it's a very understandable statement of
but when
did not expect racism. Did not expect them to handle it well.
But
I wasn't expecting them to show the Fishman side of it. I honestly thought they forgot about the Fishman.
Yeah, no, that's a fair
Okay.
thought, yeah. I mean, in all
But
fairness,
Oda
like,
ain't like that.
Oda's different! He is him!
He ain't no Akira Toriyama.
Yeah.
Or
I've heard before. Apparently, Oda will go in and like check the wikis in case he's forgotten something. So it's like, dude,
he
you know,
actually
the basic thing you ought to do of like, if you don't remember something, go check. Huh? Toriyama.
I wonder what I wrote for.
I wonder if
Oh yeah, this bitch with the blue hair.
Oh
who when
yeah,
she
there's a
sneezes-
character that exists.
Yeah.
You know what
Could
made
you
me
imagine?
sad? Oh, go ahead.
Do you guys know about the Raditz alternate universe thing that the
Moscow X mate?
yeah the Masako?
I love that.
Yeah.
You haven't checked it out, right? The Moscow's channel?
Possibly not.
You ought to check it out. Honestly, it's really good. Like the way
It's-
he makes an alternate story
It's
of
an,
like
it's an AU where
We actually
Raditz
follow Raditz.
where Raditz becomes good. Like, he doesn't die.
Yeah.
But he like stays.
He definitely would have taken the role of Vegeta
He's got a
that like Vegeta has, because Goku and Vegeta are pretty much brothers.
I think. Well, at this point, yeah, but I think Vegeta, it's like he was from a high place.
Yeah.
Raditz wasn't.
yeah.
Raditz and Goku aren't. They're like the generic like.
Foot
Yeah.
soldiers.
yeah.
Yeah.
The way he's made his what ifs, Moscow, are great. Like they are great what
Did he
ifs.
do a One Piece one?
No, he's entirely a Dragon Ball channel.
So why are we talking about it? This is One Piece time.
It's talking about Akira Toriyama, how he always forgets.
Yeah.
But yeah, like
Unlike
the
Oda.
in this AU, Raditz marries Launch
Ah.
because Launch
Was also forgotten.
Launch gives up going after Tien because Tien doesn't care about that shit.
Yeah,
Because he's dedicated to getting his shoulders bigger
Yeah.
because he's based and not cringe.
and not cringe.
Because that third eye helps him see some shit.
He had
Anyways.
one alternate story. He had one part of his alternate story where I remember part of the details was that Tien ended up being the one to get the Majin mark instead of Spopovich, who was like at the tournament, the one who beat the shit out of Adele,
Yeah.
which I thought was really interesting.
It would
a way to
definitely- it would
involve
replace
him in
the
plot.
eye. It would replace the eye.
It would close the eye.
It would
Could you
close the
imagine
eye. Ooh.
Dude, that'd be
Ooh.
clean.
No.
Oh, I like that.
No, fucked up.
But it'd be so good.
Anyway,
It would bring him back. It would be like, okay, the whole point of Cell was that he was everybody
Yeah.
combined into one. Well, now you actually have to fight everybody.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
So Oda, is my favorite creator of all time because of the way that he's kept so consistent of like I don't forget shit, kind of like you know what I mean. That's the best thing. He makes so many callbacks in not a like nostalgia like yeah you remember when that happened kind of way. No, he makes callbacks of like this is important to the story. I need to put it here.
This has been the missing piece that you didn't even know was missing.
Yeah, great. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
My thoughts on Fishman Island are just that it's a real good reintroduction to the story.
To everybody, yeah.
It's a
To
great
this
next
new
step.
version of the crew.
It's a great next step in the story. I love it.
Yeah.
And so, if I had to put it anywhere, like in my thoughts of arcs, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but I would say it's pretty high up there.
It's high up there.
There's not many arcs that are like low for me. I think the only one that is technically low would be something like Long Ring Long Land, the Foxy pirate arc. Like that's
I
it.
don't even consider that canon.
It's really not, honestly. There's only like a few elements of it that are kind of like important to watch. Like once again, we skipped a lot of those episodes.
Because it wasn't good.
It wasn't good. It was just very important. It was like relatively important things like understanding what Foxy's fruit was, Afro Luffy,
Hilarious.
seeing the fight with Zoro and Sanji working together, and obviously skipping over to Aokiji.
Aokiji. Yes.
And so it was basically just that.
But yeah, but Fishman Island, it's very. I say it would be a solid arc. It's solid.
It's solid, yeah.
Yeah.
Any thought with Mayhem?
My thought is, would you go down 30,000 feet into the ocean for mermaids?
Mermusi? Yes.
Jinsu?
30 leagues beneath the sea, and you get the Mermusi.
It's probably not guaranteed because they're consenting human beings. That
Also,
have to...
the trip down there would be rough.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
just normal people.
Okay. Mayhem.
Yeah.
From the way they reacted with Sanji and Luffy, they're ready to go.
They're willing for whoever is willing to make the trip. If you survive,
Sees Shirahoshi. Damn, that's a big bitch.
she's 16. Oh yeah. What's next, Duke?
What's next? Up next, we are going to a very mysterious island by the name of Punk Hazard.
Punk Hazard. All right. Well, with that, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you liked it, subscribe for more. And we'll catch you next time. Anything to add, Jinsu?
Yeah.
I'm getting that Mermaid. Let's see. Anything to add?
Oh, it's not worth it! They got teeth!
He's crazy. And stupid.
Could have made a mermaid joke because you were drinking water and the whole thing, you know.
No, I don't have anything.
Goodbye! Mermaid teddies. If you want to see more of our content, you can find our YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter on our linktree at linktr.ee/greenvillains. That's linktr.ee/
greenvillains.